everyone join us the Maximizing Amazon Connect session. Today our topic will be the Amazon Connect forecasting, capacity planning, and scheduling. Um, my name's Jean Dan. I'm the go-to-market specialist for Amazon Connect, and my major responsibility is to bring the new innovation from Amazon Connect to our customers and partners, and work with you together to build the services you're looking for. We are honored to have Tom Johnston today, our Senior Manager for Product Management at Amazon Connect. He's the lead product manager for Amazon Connect forecasting, capacity planning, scheduling. Later on, he will deliver a session he will walk through the product capabilities and give you an overview. All right. So today I'll have a full agenda. I will have a very short introduction of this session, and then we'll have Tom to give us a product overview, what the capabilities are, and why we're doing differently. And we'll share some customer stories and best practices using the service to test it out and also in production. And also, of course, last, we'll have a call to action to all of you. And at the end of this session, we'll have Q&A session, of course, and also please feel free, please fill out the survey form. We'll post in the chat and help us to improve those sessions. Thank you. All right. So let's get started. Amazon Connect is the cloud-based contact center services that can deliver dynamic and personalized customer experience at any scale and with any contact workload. And you only pay what you're really using. So just like any other services in contact one in our Amazon Connect, when we're adding new services, we always want to make sure it has easy to use, have self-serviceable UI that you can turn it on easily and try it out by yourself. And also would like to leverage AI ML to improve your productivity across all the services and drive continuous optimization with analytics and insights. Our overall goal is really give you an easy to use services to help you improve customer satisfaction, improve your agent productivity, and also help you to optimize your operation. So as today, same as our Amazon Connect forecasting, capacity planning, and scheduling, we can refer as FCS later on. It is a set of AI ML powered native capabilities in Amazon Connect to ensure you have the right number of agents at the right times to hit your operational targets without overspending and without overrunning your workforce. So exactly about a year ago, we have announced the public preview of this FCS. And since then, we have sorry. um, Since then, we have several hundred customers register the preview, working with us together, and give us feedback and helping us to be able to build a product that will fit their needs. So I think today we will probably have a lot of customers and partners already be working with us, or if you have not, and we also are looking forward to working with you in the future as well. So at this moment, I really want to thank you for all the customers and partners working with us and giving us feedback and helping us build a better product. Okay, so with that, today's goal, I would really want to focus on several things. First of all, I would like to provide information that help you to answer some of the questions you might have in your mind. For example, is this something that can help my business priorities, right? And either you are looking for reduce your labor cost of agent, or you are trying to improve accuracy of your forecasting, or you want to improve your scheduling efficiency. Is something really going to help your business priorities? And what are the main benefits you can take? It could be all, it could be some, and so you can explore furthermore. And what are the costs and efforts required to trial? If you want to try it out, what does it take for you to be able to get the value out of it? And also, how does other customer in using the capabilities and what the feedbacks and any best practices that can help you to try out. So those are really the questions I would like to provide you in today's session. So at the end of the session, you can probably decide, hey, this is something I really want to try out. So turn it on and experience, or you are looking for more information. So that's where we're going to have more deep dive sessions for you later on, or you can reach out to our account teams for some conversations, get more content on the service itself. So hopefully that's some of the things that we can do after the session. All right. With that, we'll start with the product walkthrough first. So I will invite Tom to give you a product overview on what the services are and how we do it differently and why we're doing it. Tom, I hand over to you.
Can you see me, Jing? There we go. Okay. Great. Well, hey, thank you everyone for being here. I'm super excited to do this. As Jing mentioned, it's just over a year ago that we announced the preview at Enterprise Connect. And just thank you for spending some time with us this morning to go over what we have to offer here. Next slide, Jing. As you're probably aware, Amazon, we don't build things without understanding what it is our customers want. And before we set out on this journey, we spent a lot of time listening to folks that were running contact centers, all sorts of roles, the real-time desks, the schedulers, the forecasters, the managers, the agents, the supervisors, what have you. And we heard a whole bunch of things. We heard, hey, we need to hit our business goals. That's often budget, customer satisfaction, first call resolution, service levels, average speed of answers. We heard that the workflow of moving from a forecast through a capacity plan through a schedule was often disjoint, disparate, didn't make sense. Things were expensive, and the conventional tools that some of our customers had didn't leverage the benefits of the cloud. So we set out to design a system that would address these problems straight ahead. Next slide, please, Jane. And one of the things we wanted to do was deliver these services natively as part of Amazon Connect. So what we built wasn't an acquisition. It wasn't a bolt-on solution. It's built in. It's native. It's part of the solution. And we'll talk about the benefits that comes up later. But one is just one-touch integration. The fact that you can deliver this service in a matter of minutes. We wanted to make it easy to use. One of the things customers have told us, or folks trying it out, is wow, the workflow is really simple. One person can do the work that in the past might have taken several people. The other thing that came up was we wanted to build AI for scheduling and machine learning, in this case for forecasting, from the ground in to help deliver those business targets and do so with less, with more accuracy and less error. We also wanted to automate workflows to improve productivity for everyone. Okay, next slide, please, Jane. So we're going to walk through all of these capabilities in a little more detail, take about 20 minutes. We're going to touch on 4 capabilities. Forecasting. What will future demand look like? So for us, a forecast is how many contacts you should expect to get, when they should arrive, and how much handle time will it take to deal with them. A capacity plan. This answers the questions, how many agents will you need in the long run to meet your needs? Scheduling. Our scheduling module answers the questions, how many agents are needed in each shift and which agents should work in which slot. Finally, schedule adherence will tell you which agents are adhering to their scheduled activities. So if someone's supposed to be in productive time, able to answer the phone, are they? Someone's supposed to be on a break, are they? Okay. Next slide, please, Jane. Okay. So we're going to touch on 5 different areas: enablement, forecasting, enablement, forecasting, capacity planning, scheduling, and schedule management. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. So enabling has two areas, and we're going to just touch on one of these today. The first is enabling the modules. The second is setting security profiles. Security profiles are important, but we're not going to show that today. What does it take to enablement? It's literally a one-touch setup, right? You just go in here and you say, I want to enable this. There's an easy button for self-service enablement from the console. What our system does in the background is move data out of Amazon Connect into the forecasting, capacity planning, and scheduling system and format in the right way that we can deliver your schedules and have auto-populate your agents. There is no plumbing for you to do. There is no work that you have to do to connect systems. They're connected. We keep them connected for you. It just works. So if you want to try this out, in a matter of minutes to an hour, you can be enabled, okay? If you want to stop the enablement, you can do that as well if you want to disable it, okay? Next slide, please. Okay, okay, skip that one. Thank you, Jane. Okay, so what's in the forecasting system? The forecasting system uses ML tailored for contact center business needs. So this is a custom ML model that Amazon has built, and we train on each customer's data so that you don't need to worry that your data is being used to improve someone else's model or vice versa. It's your data trained in a model designed for contact centers. We have found in our preview in the early days of being generally available that this system is delivering more accurate forecasts than customers are able to do on their own or using other tools. Now, your mileage may vary. There are several cases where customers are seeing similar accuracy with other tools, but there's quite a few where we're seeing 2% or 3% improvements, in some cases quite a bit more. Okay, these high accuracy forecasts improve your business planning, and they will save you money. If you have a contact center with 500 agents and you have a, say, 2% more accurate forecast, you will be able to hit your targets using fewer agents because you know what's coming. These forecasts are also automatically generated, so there's no work that your forecasters need to do. A short-term forecast shows up in the morning, and a long-term forecast shows up every week with no effort required. So let's walk through what you have to do. You first set the forecast interval. That's either 30 minutes or 15 minutes. If you need to import historical data, so let's say you've moved to Connect in the past 1 month, you're going to need more data than that for the ML model to generate accurate forecasts. Here's an easy way to add it. You'll create a forecast group. That's a collection of cues that are forecast together. You then generate your forecast. You can inspect it, you can override it, and then you can publish it. Publishing is important because when you publish a forecast, it's handed to a different module. You can skip that slide, Jing. It's handed to a different module for use. Okay. So importing historical data is very simple. It's just an upload of a CSV file. We give you a template of what this looks like. You can see the file there. There's a name of the queue ID, the channel type, time stamp, the interval, how many contacts came in, the handle time, how many contacts were handled. That's all we need to know, and we take it from there. Next slide, please, Jane. Okay. Creating a forecast group is simple. You just group a bunch of cues together into a group. You give your forecast group a name and you set it. We then look to maximize your accuracy at the forecast group level. This is important because oftentimes, many contact centers, they will care about a given queue or several queues, but they really care about a group of queues. Typically, customers have grouped queues that belong to a single line of business together. For example, an insurance company might have one group of queues for long-term care, another group of queues for life insurance. That's an example of how a real-life customer is using the forecast group feature. Next slide, Jane. Okay. To create a forecast, you just click a button. And once you have saved these forecasts, got your forecast group set up, the forecasts are automatically created for you daily for the short-term forecasts and weekly for the long-term forecasts. Next slide, please, Jane. Okay, you can review a forecast. So you can see what the forecast is. You can compare it to what the historical records you had a year before. You can compare it to your recent history. And then you decide, hey, I like this, I'm happy with it, I want to publish it. Or I want to change it. To make a change, you download it, change it in Excel, and upload the change. That's called an override. Once you're happy with it, you publish it, and the act of publishing passes the long-term forecasts onto the capacity planning module and the short-term forecasts onto the scheduling module. Next slide, please, Jane. Okay, capacity planning. Capacity planning is important because you need to know how many agents you're going to need into the future in time to hire them and train them. Capacity planning in this system is not designed to tell you how many agents you need next week. It's designed to tell you how many agents you need months ahead of time. Okay? Now, our capacity planning system is based on scenarios. So you can have scenario A and scenario B, and you can change the composition scenario and then see how your agent population needs change based upon that. Let's take a look. Go ahead, Jane. Okay. In the capacity planning scenario, you can upload data. We're not going to touch on that this morning. If you need it, you can create a scenario, generate a plan, and then publish it. So let's go ahead with this, Jane. Okay, so creating a scenario, you can say, hey, this is the occupancy we want to have. This is the attrition we expect. This is how many hours a week our full-time agents work. We want to outsource contacts or we don't. And you create these and you can then vary them. So you can say, hey, what happens if I accept this occupancy or this occupancy? What happens if I have this attrition or that attrition, and see how they vary. So you could have multiple scenarios. Go ahead, next slide, Jane. You can also upload additional data. So if you wanted to add out-of-office shrinkage data or in-office shrinkage data and available FTEs, you can put those into the system. That's a simple CSV or Excel file upload. Next slide, please, Jane. And then you can generate the plan. And the plan will tell you, here's the inputs from forecasting, here's the outputs, how many headcount you need, here's the forecasted occupancy. Then based on additional inputs you gave, we can say required FTEs net of shrinkage, available FTEs, and then a gap. So we need X, we've got Y, the gap is the difference between those X minus Y. Okay. You can also say, hey, you could cover this with overtime, if so, how much? Or if you're over, you might want to offer voluntary time off. So it's a good set of data to help you run your contact center for the long run, to share with your HR, recruiting, and training teams. Next slide, please. You can also override this, so if you want to make some manual changes, you can do that, and then you can then publish it. And publish it means this is the booked plan, and here's what I'm going to be sharing with those other teams. Okay, next slide, please, Jane. Okay, scheduling. This is the day-to-day work of making sure you have the right agents available at the right time for Connect to route a chat or a voice call to. Our scheduling is built using some advanced artificial intelligence. We generate very high efficiency schedules. During the preview and now that we're in GA, we found that oftentimes the schedules that this system will generate are 2, 3, in some cases 5% more efficient than those generated by other systems. What do I mean by that? Well, if you can cover the same workload with fewer agents, that is a more efficient schedule. That results in savings for you. I also want to point out that these comply with your HR, legal, or business rules, and that the experience is integrated with the rest of Connect. Okay, next slide, please, Jane. Okay, scheduling, obviously, if you've done it, there's a lot of work involved. There are 3 things that you have to do to set up your schedule before you start generating them. You have to create shift activities in the shift profile. You have to set your staff rules, and you have to create a staffing group. This is where you sort of say, okay, staffing group, these are the agents in that. Staffing rules, this is how it works. Shift activities, this is what they do. Shift profiles, those are more rules. Let's take a look, and then we'll see what all this setup is involved. So obviously, the schedule manager helps you generate, modify, and publish your draft schedules. This is where you start. It's also where you generate a schedule. But before you can do that, you need to do a little work. The first thing is you define what an agent does during their shift, right? This is a break, non-productive time, a training session, time off activities, things like that. So you create a set of these. These are the shift activities that an agent might do during their shift. Next slide, please, Jane. You define the shift profile. You can see here start times, end times, break rules, daily shift activities, all this thing. So this is what happens during the shift, right? And this controls many of the rules that you might have. Next slide, please. Okay, you create your staffing group. Your staffing group has which agents that are in. It specifies the minimum number of agents to be scheduled, the time off group allowance. Each staffing group maps to a forecast group. So again, if we had the example of long-term care being one forecast group and life insurance being another, you would have a staffing group that maps to your long-term care group. Those are agents qualified to take questions about long-term care. You could have another staffing group of agents qualified to talk about life insurance. Okay, so now we've got everything set up. Next slide, please, Jane. And you set your staff rules. This is their location, their working hours, their joining and termination dates. These set up better schedule generation. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now it's time to generate a schedule. And you can optimize your schedule for the service level or average speed of answer. And then you generate a schedule. And this can take a while because, again, the artificial intelligence and optimizing engine are going to work hard to do this. It will generate the optimal agent schedule for up to 18 weeks to ensure that the least number of agents are scheduled to meet whatever goal you have. And that's how we generate the efficient schedules. Okay, next slide, please. You can then view and adjust the schedule. Now, the schedules comply with HR legal and business rules, but you can also make some manual adjustments. One of the things you'll notice is the colored color bar at the top. That gives you hints as to when you might need more agents or you have too many agents. And then you can see the impact of making manual adjustments. So that if you might want to move people's lunch, you might want to move their breaks or whatnot. Next slide, please, Jane. Okay, so how do we manage the schedule? This is things like time off requests, overtime, voluntary time off, and compliance and business rules checking to optimize your schedule changes. Next slide, please, Jane. Okay, so the supervisor has schedule access, the agent has some schedule access. We'll look at all of these. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, for scheduling overtime and time offs, there's request management workflows. And these involve automatic rules to checking daily max and the group allowance and creating self-optimizing schedules. So if you're going to offer overtime, you can understand the consequences of doing that, both to your service level and to meeting rules. Next slide, please. This is what the agent will see when they're looking at their schedule. It's just part of the Connect experience, and there's self-service request management. So for example, you can request overtime, request VTO, or request time off. Next slide, please. Okay, and here's your schedule adherence. And you can see who's adherent, who's not, and you can notify a manager if there's shift activity adherence lapse. We also have a report showing your historical adherence metrics. Next slide. Okay, so what did we show you? We showed you enabling the service, creating forecasts and everything involved with that, creating capacity plans, creating schedules, and managing schedules. So excited that so many people have shown up to learn about this and looking forward to hearing from many of you. Thanks, Jane.
Thank you, Tom. Wow, you spent 15 minutes to go through many functionalities. But of course, if you have not get all the information or you're looking for more, we also have a deep dive session tomorrow as well. I'll share the link in the end at the end of the session tomorrow. So there's a 2-hour deep dive session that will give you every single details of how to set it up and how can you go from enable the service to generate a schedule and publish and manage your service. All the 4 steps that Tom has been talking about today. So yeah, please also, there are still time to register to that session. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic, which is I would like to share some of how our customers are using it and other best practices, right? Hopefully, that's some of the information will help you to decide, hey, is this something I want to also try out, or what are the things I can leverage to get a better experience out of the trials? Okay, so as I said, we do have a lot of customers that already be working with us and make sure that they share feedback with us. So there are customers that coming from using user spreadsheets that managing the schedules right now, and so it's all manual, and they would like to have some easy to use experience, easy in tools to help them to optimize the schedule, reduce the manual work, and of course improve the scheduling efficiency. And there are also customers that recently moved to Connect, right? And they want to leverage the native capabilities to optimize the workforce without integration. So they would like to try it out and make sure that this is something will fit the needs. And of course, we also have customers that only just doing forecasting and planning manually. And then, of course, they leverage the partners to manage the schedules in a different organization. And in that case, they would like to see a very accurate forecast and capacity planning easily. So they will be able to require the right amount of resources from the partners. Of course, there are also more customers trying to work with us, partner with us, with innovate. They want to innovate with Connect, with AI ML, with all the different tools we have to really work on an optimization solution together. So they're all different customers and have different angles and different purposes. And from that, I would like to share some of the customers have told us so far. But of course, we are looking forward to working with more of you and to get more feedback. All right. So this is some of the customers be working with us. They started using Amazon Connect a year ago, and now they adopted forecasting, capacity, and scheduling. They manage the schedule not just for the internal teams, but also with external partners, because they use both internal teams and expert partners to support the customer services. And they also coordinate real-time adjustment. Sorry, it was it my noise or some other noises from the audience? Okay, cool. Thank you. And they also use it real-time adjustment to coordinate, adjust the schedule because their business very seasonality. They have up and downs and be able to, so they would like to be able to adjust agent numbers and the work hours very, very dynamically. And their business user does not have workforce management experiences. Again, they used to using spreadsheets to manage it. So even for those teams, they found this tool is very easy for them to adopt and to use and be able to create a schedule and manage it. And we also have our customers that a little bit more on advanced side. So they're looking for something that have all the data together, so they can leverage the machine learning to deliver more accurate forecast and also optimize the schedules. So of course, yeah, they found out well the result is more than 95% accuracy with the data, and also they will be able to have more efficient scheduling with less agent schedule hours. And they also find out even their team already have WFM experiences. They also find it very easy to learn, and with very high efficiency with the schedules, they will be able to also justify different schedule styles with the different unique agent requirements. And we also have some other customers that they've been working with us on comparing the accuracy of the forecasting, and they were amazed on how accurate it is, and it's 97%. And they will never be able to have accurate forecasting accuracy above 95% before. And their WFM managers that just using 1 week to be able to go through all the testing and be able to generate schedules, publish, and everything. And they loved easy to use and intuitive user interfaces. So you can see a lot of common trends here is our customer really get what we're really trying to deliver: easy to use, focus on accuracy to save to make sure your forecast is accurate, and also let easy to manage your workforce the schedules. So it is not designed just for WFM professionals, but also for our new users never had a WFM experience before. We'd like you to be able to leverage the service and be able to help also manage your and optimize your workforce. So with that, you probably be wondering, okay, how much effort for those customers to go through, right? As I said, with a team that never had a WFM experiences, our observation of our customers is, once they have captured the rules, how the rules work, and the relationship between the different entities, it's very easy for them to just adopt it. I will say the effort is about less than a month. And also, again, for WFM professionals, which already have all the knowledge of using a WFM tools, it's about a week, or so. So this is just our observation, but I know every customer is very unique, and your scheduling might be very different. So we definitely welcome you to try it out and let us know what is your experience. Okay, so the next one is also would like to let you know we do have some partners working with us together as well, sharing their experience of helping their clients on validating the services and helping them to deploy. So Cognizant and HCL, Aspen, and Coliseum, they're all our launch partners. We have announced at reInvent. Each of them has been working very closely with us, helping our customers do technical validations, going through trials, and also deploy. So if you are looking for some partners that will help you to go through and set up your workforce management or capacity planning, scheduling, and forecasting, and just please also you can reach out to those partners as well. Okay. So our next topic is truly about, hey, how could I fully leverage the 90-day free offer? We have not talked about this one yet. So we have announced for every single customer enabled instance, or even the service on your instance that for the first time, you will get 90-day free of the service. So you just need to turn it on and experience with one click that Tom just showed you. Just with one click, you can enable it. And there's no contract needed. You don't need to allow listing, and there's no minimum cost requirements and how much you have to spend or volume commitment, and no obligation after 90 days. So you work with us, or you can do your self-paced trials as well. After 90 days, you have your choice to either continue the service without doing anything, because you can or you can turn it off with just one click. Your data will be kept for another 30 days in the service without touching. We will not touch that. And if you just change your mind, come back, you will still have all your data there in 30 days. Yeah. Okay, so with the 90 days offer, definitely what I really want to focus on today again is you already know what the service can do for you in a high level. And also I would like to see what are the different things you can do to help you to maximizing all the value in the 90 days. So you will be able to fully test it and fully experience it and give us feedback. And also make a decision on, hey, is this something will help my business, and what is the outcome, and what is the ROI for using the services. So this is some of the things I would like to share later in this session. Okay. So, that is get the most out of the 90-day free trials, of course. There are many things you can do. So most of those highlights, most of those best practices are from the process when we are working with our customers and the partners, and we collect those in experiences. But of course, there are much more than just 4 of this. What I want to highlight is just 4 as a major topic. But if you're looking for more, we're really looking at publishing a blog to give you more details there. So the four things I would like to highlight today to help you get the most out of the 90 days is, first of all, starting with the defined scope. Do not just turn it on for everyone. So you will be able to, because it's always good to have the experience first, and then you expand to a bigger group. And the second thing is using production data. It's not just for forecasting, but also for real-time adherence and other things. We'll explain each of this detail in next slide. Yeah. And definitely leverage capacity planning with different scenarios to look at your FTE planning as well. I know there are customers probably don't do capacity planning, but this is really going to help you for long term. This is some add-on benefits from the service. Of course, the last most important thing is maximize your scheduling optimization. What I really mean is because the machine learning are built in at the back end to help you optimize your schedules. There are different style of schedules, of course, and then we will be able to help you to reach out to reach your different optimization goals as well. We'll get more details later on as well. Okay, let's start with the first one. Start with a defined scope. What I really mean is we can always start with a smaller group, right? Remember when Tom goes through uh, the slides, there's a concept of a forecast group, right? So select the right proper cues in the forecast group with a smaller group, and then you'll be able to very easy to validate the value, compare the forecast, and also understand the optimization rules. What are the impact when you're setting the different rules? What are the impact to the forecasting and to the demand? So this is some of the things we'd like you to expand with a smaller group, understand the different elements and how, and for example, if you're setting a different optimization goals in scheduling, and how would that impact your scheduling look like? For if you have 90% of the call need to be answered in 30 seconds, definitely that's going to increase a lot of agent needs in each slot, right? To cover your peak time, your occupancy will be a little lower versus you define a 30 and 80% of calls be answered in 1 minute, etc. So you can compare all those, how when you're setting the optimization rules impact your schedule look like, and what the different working hours, how the business rules will impact how the schedule will be shaped. So this is starting with small group, understand the relationships and impacts, and then you can always expand to bigger group once you have learned, understand the relationships. The second thing is, as I said, yeah, proper cues. And with the right grouping, you will very easy for you to optimize your labor and do the right forecasting. So please use the forecast group to group a queue, a list of queue, or you could have only one queue if this is only just one dedicated queue for their services. You do have full control over who can see what and can do what. So using security profile, which is the same thing that you using for control any other services in Connect, right? You will be able to say who can see forecast, who can generate forecast, and who can publish forecast, and who can override it, and who can create a schedule. So in a lot of times, your WFM analytics team will do the forecasting, and then your supervisor probably will only see the published schedule in their own view of their own team, right? And the agent will only see their own queue. But by even doing this, it will also give you a great control over during the testing period, who you want to participate in the trial, because you can definitely don't give the view access to the agent that you don't want them to see the schedule. So you can totally control who can see what and who can do what as a granular control over different access. And of course, if you do have multiple teams that would like to trial out, because I know a lot of customers have different business line of groups, they have different needs. Yeah, don't worry, they can definitely use it. They can create a different forecast groups and be able to do it. Again, the 90 days is free for you. We don't have a limitation on how many forecast groups you can create and how many forecasts you can have. So and you're absolutely be able to do so. Okay, so this is the first observation I would like to share to be able to have a defined scope, starting with a small group, and then you can always expand to a bigger groups once you're ready. And second thing is use the right data. It's very important. We have built our AI/ML models to be able to do forecasting and also optimize the efficiency of the scheduling. So data is very important for AI/ML to be able to learn. Especially the forecast model, we are not purely just depending on the historical data that has already either come from Connect or you imported into our Connect system, but it's also the latest arriving patterns. So based on those two facts, the machine learning will get smarter and smarter. It will always retrieve the latest data from Connect for the short-term forecast is computed every day, right? So they're collected that every day to make sure you always present you the latest, the best data in the forecast you will have. That's also why, because when comparing with other, when your customer using the forecast, they notice, yes, I actually found out, yes, your forecasting is more higher is because, yes, last year's data is very different than the arriving pattern currently. So of course the forecast need to be adjusted. That's why. So if you are trying to test out, so please run it on production instance, and that's where the real data will come in every day to be able to build that. But of course, you really don't want to use in production, and you can always import data in time, so we'll still get those information. But of course, in production instance is always recommended. The reason is truly because, first of all, your data is safe. It's all inside Connect, so it's not going anywhere. It's all native in Connect. And also, turning on the service in production will not impact your production environment. Tom already shared the data flow, right? Starting from enable to publishing the schedule, it's really from left to right. You're not going back to your environment system, changing your queues or whatever. So you can see, even you turn on the production, and you importing data for historical data, no other modules will be impacted. Your context and operate just run as normal. Even you already have integration with another tools for workforce management or other purposes, it will not be impacted. It's all contained inside the forecasting, capacity planning, scheduling service, and it's native in Connect. So and again, we just mentioned that you can use the security profile control who can see what. So the people are not in the trial, in the production, will not see anything related to forecasting, capacity planning, scheduling. Yeah. So this is several things I would like to highlight. Using the right data, and also will help you to be able to check the real-time adherence, right? And also get the efficiency and the accuracy of the forecast. Okay, so this is the second thing I would like to recommend. But again, if you don't want to use in production, just make sure you import your data frequently, so you will still be able to get the similar accuracy, but just a little bit more of manual work. Yeah. Okay. So the next one is capacity planning, using different scenarios for your capacity planning. Capacity planning is pretty much take the long-term forecast, so you can define a lot of what if scenarios and see, hey, how much that's going to cost me for my resource planning. So you can always define different scenarios, try it out, run on the same long-term forecast, and see how will that impact your resource needed, right? You can also set optimization goals for different channels. For example, voice might have different requirement with your chat, right? So voice might be need to answer every 30 seconds, 80% of the call, but chat, maybe 80% of chat you can answer in 1 minute. So you have a different optimization goals you can define to further refine your capacity planning. And there are a lot of option fields in capacity planning. If you don't set it, it will still create the capacity planning. But if you do leverage them, like the daily attrition rate, right, the maximum overtime rates, all those things, it will help you to refine your capacity planning, make it more accurate and more details. Of course, please also using the uploading the data with the shrinkage and FTE, so you will further refine capacity planning and also give you more gap analysis. Okay, so this is the capacity planning, and that's a very add-on feature. Maybe it's new to some of our customers, but please also try. It's very simple to set up. 2 steps: create a scenario and create a capacity planning. Okay. The last thing I would like to cover is maximize the scheduling optimization. That's also important thing. We all know out of it, forecasting, capacity planning, scheduling, scheduling might be the most complicated steps, right? I always thinking it's like a puzzle. If you're missing one little piece, and the rest might be impacted as well. It's like a puzzle game. So we definitely we work with different customers with different styles. There are customers that only have all full-time agents in 8 hours per day, 40 hours per week, right? Very static schedules. And then there will be customers that has a lot of seasonality, very dynamic workforce, a lot of part-time, and also they like just very easily, and they have very flexible control over where they want to put the agents are. So there's definitely very different type of schedules, and based on that, your optimization goals might be also different. For example, if you are looking at a very static service schedule, 8 hours, full time, 40 hours per week, all your agent probably start at the same time and end at the same time, right? So your maximum working hour and the minimum working hour will be 8 hours. So there's really not a lot of buffer for us to optimize, hey, where to start and where to end based on arriving pattern of your workforce. But there's still something we can really help is really to optimize your breaks and the lunches, right? If you give us the window of where you want to put your lunch, where you put your breaks, the machine learning itself will automatically put that at the right spot for you, and to make sure that's based on your arriving patterns and the workload of that time slot, 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So we'll always put it in the optimal place for you, so you don't have to worry about everybody take the lunch at the same time or breaks at the same time when you have a highest peak volume coming in. Yeah, so we'll automatically do that for you. But please make sure you give us a window of be able to do so. For example, if your breaks is 15 minutes, then give us a 30 minutes or 1 hour window to put in that window. So we'll be able to have the buffer to optimize for you. We also have rules to make sure that you don't stack your breaks with your lunches, or also you don't need to make sure that there's no breaks scheduled at the first minutes when the agent come in, right? It needs always to be 1 or 2 hours after the shift starts. So this is one type of customers with static schedule. And for the customers that have very dynamic schedule, for example, 24-hour operation, they just want to put the agent at the right time to optimize the occupancy and also the saving cost. And that's where you will give us a lot of space to be able to optimize. You don't really need to set all the optimization, the rules in the in shift profiles or the staffing rules. So all you need to do is probably give us, hey, this is the 24-hour operation, and I would like you, the service, give me the most optimized schedules based on my business requirement. So in that case, it will leave us a lot of rooms. For example, if that morning the traffic is really low, we'll probably only have a 2 or 3 agents to cover, and then we'll gradually adding more agents when your traffic start ramping up, and at the end we'll also ramping up and get less people there at the closing time of your 24-hour schedule. So it's really, in that case, we'll have more rooms to optimize your schedule, your agent utilizations based on your arriving pattern, the workload you are looking for, and also help you meet your needs. So yeah, that's really how you will be able to leverage optimization rules to meet different styles. Of course, again, goals can also be set with scheduling as well for different channels, chat or voice. We do provide the metrics. If you remember when Tom shows the schedule on the top, there's a pink, a blue, little squares right there, which will tell you, hey, what the forecast headcounts we think you need to have in the slots and what have been really scheduled. So are you overstaffing or understaffing? Do you need to manually adjust your agent schedules? So that matrix give you an idea of where you want to add more people, where you want to reduce more agents. And that's also going to help you when you're making manual changes. You will be able to make the change and then rerun your metrics and make sure it does not break your service goals as well. So and there's another very important thing, like when you're managing the time off overtime, how would you make sure that you're adding a 2 hours shift in the schedule for your agent overtime, and then your labor law require every 2 hours you need a break, right? So all those things will be automatically considered in the service. Will automatically add one for you or move your breaks around to optimize to make sure you meet your business requirements and your labor laws. So, all those little things add up to help you to reduce your manual work and also optimize your agent's efficiency, scheduling efficiency as well. Definitely, there are more to share, but I know because of time, we'll definitely please reach out to your team or account teams and also join the session tomorrow to find out more. Of course, the last thing I would like to say is, yes, we are the forecasting, capacity planning, scheduling are helping our operation teams to be able to forecast and resource planning more accurately, efficiently, and helping our managers to understand the staffing, manage the schedules more efficiently. And we have has one of the piece in Connect and natively, we offer full solution for insight and optimization, right? We have real-time analytics and the monitoring to be able to give the service supervisors what's going on with my team in the real time, and if there's any escalation happened, contact lens can send them a notification. The agent can, the supervisor can come in to help the agent right there to reduce your to prevent escalation, also improve first call resolution rate. And of course, with all the conversation analytics from chat and the voice from contact lens, you will be able to analyze your conversation, find out common trends, good examples, bad examples, customer satisfaction, all this to help you to improve customer satisfaction, improve process. And we also recently added agent performance evaluation as a native service, and that not only help you to have all the information side by side in the evaluation forms, help you to pick the right calls, the concept conversation to evaluate, and also it can automate it with contact lens analytics results to really great increase your efficiency of evaluation forms and increase your sampling data. Now you have a much broader view to see what my agent's really looking for to improve the performance and what is the opportunity for training. With all the data together in Connect, you will be able to, it's all open. So you will take the data, also work with the data sets and be able to capture even more insights and optimize your operation. So I'm really excited for 2023 because all of those things will be available for you, and we welcome you to try it out and with us together. Okay, with that, there are more resources you will be able to look. There's a definitely, please, if you want to try it out, please check the product document, which is already public, and it gives you a lot of details on how to set it up and what to watch for. And then we'll also have a blog of how getting started to help you quick start with to setting it up. We also have a demo video from re:Invent by Sajis, our great product manager, and he will give you a demo video step by step on how you set and how to configure the service. And so with that, I would like to call to action to, before we get the Q&A, I definitely would like you to see if this is something you're looking for, please just start experiencing it, turn it on. And tomorrow we have the session also available for you, same time, but it's 2-hour deep dive. And also you can also reach out to your account teams for more content. So I'll stop here and have several minutes for Q&A. Sorry. Yeah. Alyssa. Hello? Okay. Should I
Yeah,
open the mic for Q&A?
and Jing, Alyssa just posted out that link to the survey. So everyone, please fill the survey. And yeah, you can ask any questions here.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Mohan. I had a quick question, Jing. One question for you is I think the my idea of this session was that it was going to be a little bit on the business side of things on how somebody who is a user on the Amazon Connect site would go through the motions to effectively utilize the forecasting capability to be able to get meaningful scheduling out of it, right? Is tomorrow's session gonna focus on actually doing that hands-on where somebody will go through the process and show it and with an example of how it actually works? And the reason why I ask is because there's too many wheels kind of turning in this capability. There's forecasting, there's scheduling, there's capacity planning, right? And all of those are kind of weaved in together. And if you don't have a lot of experience with workforce management, or you do, but it's been worked with a vendor, and now you want to kind of bring it in house, it's a lot to take in without understanding the terms and what all of it means together to be able to set it up. Is that something that's going to be detailed in tomorrow's meeting?
That's right. Yeah, I just posted the link for the session for tomorrow. So tomorrow will be more deep dive. Our team, Lakshay, will lead you through all the steps to how to generate the forecast in the real product, and you will be able to follow along. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And yeah, it again, and definitely thank you for your feedback. Yeah, I will say to demo the whole story, it will probably take 1.5 hours itself. So yeah, today we'll more focus on the high level, and sharing how other people using it, and make sure and help you to make the decision. Is that this is something you would like to experience more? Yeah.
Got it. Do you think the pace is going to be in a way where somebody can follow through doing it themselves as well, kind of like a workshop manner, or is it going to be more fast paced where we won't be able to follow through?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, so what I recommend is if you already have the service enabled, and you definitely can follow, but it takes some time to generate the forecasting, so it's not going to be too real time, but you can definitely follow the steps to set it up. Yeah, it might take a little waiting time, not immediately in 1 minute, but you will still be able to set it up and set up the schedules and etc. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And then tomorrow's session will be recorded too. We can go back to it and follow through later once we want to sit through it again if we want to without the real time.
Absolutely, yes. And
Right.
it will be posted on the resource center. Alyssa and Alex will help us to do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. I think we are on top of the hour, but I really, really thank you for your time for an hour working with us. And we'll see you tomorrow on the deep dive session as well. Please fill the survey, please. Help us to improve the sessions.